Just confirming if the session is started and if Bhupendra sir is audible.
Yes, you are audible, Ayush. We'll just start in 2 minutes, है ना? I'm just waiting for someone to join us, uh, and then we'll start.
Okay,
I'm,
thanks. You are audible
just,
too.
हाँ. Hmm. Surely, I think it's a time we should start. Good evening, everyone. Uh, Today, basically, the agenda is that we just focus a little bit on vet, but I'm also extending it to also understand what exactly is the process that's going to follow, because there are so many here who are not my candidates. Some of them are my candidates only. So I would just want to extend this understanding through one of the persons that I've invited here. We have Utsav here with us, and Utsav is a person who actually, okay, yes. So Utsav is a person who has already converted IIM Bangalore in round one with scholarship. So far, there are only two candidates in India who have got the scholarship in round one, and Utsav is one of them. He also has cleared IIM Ahmedabad process, and although he has decided to join IIM Ahmedabad, but I thought that his view will be very much, useful for everyone here present. So I thought that I'll just invite him, and in the beginning, I will just request him to take the stage and then share his experience at first. Utsav, you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, Bhupendraji, I can hear you. I'm not sure if you can hear me as well.
Yes, I can hear
Can
you,
you?
and I can see you as well. You are looking really bright. Everything else
Okay.
is well behind you. So that's a good thing.
Thank you. Thank you for putting a very good photo of me. I like this photo. So,
I took it from your LinkedIn. It's nice.
okay, so I cannot see any speakers. I don't know. Maybe my view. I need to just 1 second.
Ha,
Oh, yes. Now I can. Now I can. Okay. So first of all, very thank you for inviting me.
ha.
Really honored to be here. When you asked me, can you join the session, you should have rather given me an order that you have to be there.
No,
So
no,
it's
now you
my,
have changed your stage. Earlier, you were a student, but now you are at the next stage, so you have reached a position where you can share your insight with so many people and benefit
no,
them.
I'll be really happy to, as Bhupendra ji has also told that I converted IIM Bangalore with a scholarship as well as IIM Ahmedabad. I'm choosing IIM Ahmedabad for some personal reasons, and my profile suits IIM Ahmedabad better. So I think means I also have taken some notes today, which I will share with you. I'm sure when Bhupendraji will start the session, all of these points will keep crossing off. But if still something remains, I hope something should. So I'll try to add value there. Maybe I'll let Bhupendraji take the stage for now and then go through the session. If I have any further points to add somewhere, maybe I'll keep writing them, and then at the end of the session, I'll be very happy to share them with you.
Nee, at the end of the
So
session. Okay. I
yeah, means way you
I
want me
think
to
I
do it.
think it would be best that you just walk all of us through your experience in the beginning, and because I don't want to take too much of your time. Last time you remember in round one we kept you for about 2.5 hours, and then we continued just re-looking at every single WAT that was coming to me. I don't want to
Right,
keep
right,
you
right.
that long, है ना? So I understand that
Okay,
you also have several other things. I think we'll start from this thing first. Okay,
okay.
how was the experience of WAT first? What exactly, I mean, I think we already know what topic you received because everywhere, everyone in round one received the same topic.
Yeah, yeah, they receive the same
है ना?
topic. That's
हाँ,
right.
I think that is where you can start sharing your insights first, and then I'll take it forward. Maybe in between, I will also take this exercise, this PDF forward, and then we will just continue together. है ना? So
Perfect,
first of all,
perfect.
just let everybody know that how exactly does it work.
Sure. So the IMB WAT format, it is basically a proctored test. So I think a few years ago it was a written test, but now it is a proctored online test. And the process is quite simple. Means when you will register for it, it is very self-explanatory. And if you are given any proctored exam online, it should be very easy for you. But I will highly suggest that you go through that process once before the actual WAT. Maybe if you, I think I am Bangalore already shares some links with you, so you can find the entire process just to acclimatize yourself that how the screen will look, where I have to input my answers. And some of you, I'll give this as a caution, word of caution that including me. So what happens is I am very used to using autocorrect tools and Grammarly. So
Hmm.
sometimes what happens is even if I'm writing an official email, Grammarly keeps correcting things for me on, and I don't pay too much attention on sentence structure because I know Grammarly has my back. But once you are on this proctor test, none of your Grammarly's will work and they should not work. You can get flagged if somehow you keep them on.
Hmm.
So you should, whatever time you have left, or even if you don't have any time left, just try to practice some of the tests without any Grammarly's on. Because what happens is, if suppose you do a spelling mistake, and even if it is just highlighting it for you, maybe you are not auto correcting it, you are manually correcting it, but you know that somebody is pointing out errors as soon as you write. So I
Hmm.
don't want that to happen because when you are in the actual WAT structure, you will be bound to make a lot of mistakes. You will be feeling okay. I know this word acclimatize, good word, but what is the spelling? So these things do happen. So I'll practice to keep all your Grammarly's off for now till the time you do your WATs. So that is one thing. Otherwise, online experience as such is pretty neat, and you are allowed to have a piece of pen and paper with you to write your notes. I would say, I think if I'm not wrong, the WAT was 20 minutes,
Hmm.
and I am 20 minutes for me. If you ask me whether the time is sufficient or not, I would say it is very much sufficient, provided you follow the structure. Because if you have a structure in mind, okay, first 2 3 minutes or whatever time I have to just so I'll take you through the entire 20 minutes how it went for me. So when I saw the topic, I did not do anything. I was just sitting very calmly. I was just reading and rereading the topic, and I was thinking, okay, what does this topic say to me? And the topic was that should airlines be responsible for this aviation crashes in the wake of these aviation crashes? What responsibilities
If you
do?
allow, I can just state the exact topic that
Yeah,
I
yeah, please. That will help. That will really
have.
help.
Na? Give me just 1 second. I'm scrolling it up in the group only. I posted it yesterday.
Okay.
And I should. Oh my God, there is so much of chat going on in group. I still have not been able to arrive at it. No, too many things. I think I'll just better Ayush and that? I think you should carry on. I'll just quickly search and then come back to you with that.
I have the
Otherwise,
topic with me. Can I read it out?
Yes, please do that.
In the wake of recent aviation accidents, to what extent should the airlines be held accountable? How can aviation safety frameworks be strengthened to prevent such tragedies and ensure greater public trust in air travel?
Yes.
perfect. So, given this topic, I was first because it is a quite lengthy topic. If you see, means it conveys a very concise meaning, but they have worded it very elaborately. So I was just reading and rereading the topic three, four, five, six, seven times. I did that, and I was taking pauses. Means I read the topic once, then I am just looking here and there because sometimes what happens is the moment you read a topic, your mind starts making jotting down notes, and if you there are sometimes topics which may look similar. Suppose you have prepared one topic on um, climate change and a topic comes on greenwashing. You may think that they are same, but they are not the same. Greenwashing and climate change are related topics, but they are different. So I don't want any biases to come in your preparation. Forget all your preparation while you are doing your WAT. Only focus on the topic which is given to you. And then once I had read and reread the topic many times, after that what I did was whatever obvious points were coming to my mind, I started writing them down. Then one, two, three, four, five, I wrote a few points down. And mind you, this topic was not something which I had prepared while I was preparing for the WAT, so it was a surprise topic for me. But since I am fairly means read news fairly well, so I knew that okay, I can link the Ahmedabad Dreamliner disaster, what happened, what policies the government was debating. So whatever things were coming to my mind, I was writing them down in no set chronological order. Whatever comes to your mind, please immediately write it down. Don't think, okay, this is a good point, but maybe I will use it in the third paragraph. You will forget that point. So whatever comes to your mind, immediately write it down. And then once you have scribbled down all the points, then after that, once you are done, okay, I have scribbled down all the points. Now let me try to structure them in a way which actually makes some good sense. Then I started to collaborate those topics. Okay, these club those topics that okay, these 3 points I can use in a very punchy introduction. Then these points I can use in the middle paragraph, and these points I can use at the end. So then I made a structure, and post that started writing. Now, when the actual writing happens, so Bhupendra I have some some points. So can I take them also?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I will tell you one point. So if suppose there is an abstract topics, because sometimes the topics you are maybe not well read on a topic, so it automatically becomes abstract for you, or maybe it is an abstract topic for everyone else. So there, I recommend you follow a framework. It is called PESTLE. It is called PESTLE. PESTLE. So what PESTLE stands for? Maybe you can note it down. So P stands for political, E stands for economic, S stands for sociological, T stands for technological, L stands for legal, and E stands for environmental. So what you have to do with this pestle is you have to think, okay, this is an abstract topic, but can I relate something of politics to it? Can I relate something of economics to it? Can I relate something of sociology or just social society to it, technology to it, legal to it, environment to it? So I think this gives you a broad structure. Okay, थोड़ा आपको help मिल जाएगा. You will get some help. Okay, where I should pull my points from. So that is one thing. Then once you have made up your mind, once you actually start writing, so I want you to take a stance right away. Means I don't want you to keep the reader waiting till the last paragraph to know that what actually was this person in favor of the argument or against the argument. So I want you to take the stance right away in the introduction. And from my personal experience, please don't do this. If suppose it is, even if it is an abstract topic, trying to what we used to do in school, exact same lines, exact same things, copying pasting from the question, I don't recommend that at this level. Even if that is the last thing you have to do, at least change the sentence structure so it does not look like you are a fifth grade student trying to just write what has been written in the question. So that is one point. Then whatever you are writing, see, if you have any data on the topic, it is really good to have. If you have data points, yes, do use them. But a word of caution again. For example, topic is about something, and something related to it you have a data of. So, for example, topic is about India-China relations. You are
Hmm.
not well read, but India-US relations you have prepared. So don't try to throw in some numbers which are totally irrelevant to that topic.
Achha.
It,
Utsav, let's do
ha,
one thing. Let us just, if you can recall, how did you approach exactly this topic? I think that would give far better structure. How exactly did you approach it?
okay.
For example, when you
So
read this topic, which I also have put on the board, I think my screen should be visible to all of us.
yeah, yes.
है ना?
So
That is,
I read this topic again, and then maybe because I have not read that answer
I understand.
till, but still I will just read it
I
with you.
understand. Just speak out loud. How would you think about this topic? I
Sure,
think
sure,
that
sure,
would be enough.
sure. So suppose this is the screen in front of me right now. I am in the VAT. So I'll
Yes.
first read it very slowly, very calmly. In the
Mm-hmm.
wake of recent aviation accidents. Okay, recent aviation accident, Ahmedabad Dreamliner air crash. Okay, to what extent should the airlines be held accountable? So
Mm-hmm.
that means they are asking me to write whether airlines are fully accountable, partly accountable, not accountable at all. They are not asking yes or no. If I write yes, airlines should be held accountable, I have not answered their question. They are asking to what extent,
Yes.
partially, wholly, completely, not at all. So then I will move on. How
So
can
basically,
aviation?
so basically,
Yeah,
one thing is that read every part of the statement very, very carefully and make your strategy according to that, make your opinion according to that. It is to what extent that means you should know whether it is 60%, 70%, majorly or minorly. That is what you should have an understanding of so that you can answer the question appropriately. That means read the topic very, very slowly, very, very carefully. That is the first thing we should be doing in the very, very beginning. Probably this is the first learning because you're always focusing on to what extent, and this is really an important thing, more or less, you know.
perfect.
Yes,
That's
good,
right.
good.
So if I now proceed from here, how can aviation safety frameworks be strengthened to prevent such tragedies and ensure greater public trust in air travel? Now, this sentence is a little complicated um, because in exam setting, what happens is even simple sentences will start making no sense.
Hmm.
So you will have to maybe break down the sentences. Okay, so first part is how can aviation safety frameworks be strengthened? Okay, to prevent such tragedies. Okay, that is understood. And next part is to ensure greater public trust in air travel. So basically, what they are asking is now what we can do about it. So if you have said that okay, airlines are responsible to 100% extent, so what actually you can do about it? Now, here I will add one more point to this. See, even if suppose topic was ending at suppose in the wake of recent aviation accidents, to what extent should the airlines be held accountable? Even if the topic ends there, you should, because you are a management student, you are consider this as a strategy. You are not an means you are not here to write an essay. Don't take that essay word out of your mind. It is not a bad essay. It is a strategy note you have to give to your CEO, or you have to give to a prime minister or someone. So even if the question ended there, I would have still thought, okay, what can be done to prevent this? I would have still gone one step further. So always ask yourself questions. So my first point was, so what? So always ask yourself the question, okay, if I am quoting a fact, or if I am writing any statement, or if I am doing anything in this entire way, you have to ask the question, so what? So
Mhm.
basically, you they are judging your decisive decision making skills also. They are not only it is not your school exams where you have to just present the facts and then let somebody else, some outsider, read those facts and make a decision. No, you have to present a decision also. So they are basically judging your analytical ability, that how good you are at making decisions. Because some people, they have plenty of knowledge. For example, I'll give you very what do you say, an example which will register with you with no political affiliation.
Hmm.
So all of you see Mr. Sambit Patra on news channel debates.
Hmm.
He is a bhandar of knowledge. He has plethora of knowledge. But
Hmm.
do you think that maybe necessarily he is consulted while BJP makes some decisions? Maybe not. So you have you have to have the knowledge, but you also have to be able to use that knowledge. So that is very important. Don't just stop at throwing some facts and numbers. Okay, ho gaya mera kaam. I know I have thrown a lot of figures and numbers. You have to make some analysis out of it so that it actually makes some sense and your decision and your stance is very clear. That is what I wanted to say.
Absolutely, yes. See, we may have some numbers, and some of us may not have any understanding of the number. People who do not have any understanding of number, the only problem that they face is that they do not have evidence to support their argument. That is the only problem, right? But that does not mean that their argument is any weaker. I see that this is an opportunity where all of us should behave like consultants. The first part is about analysis, and the second part is about consulting. The question is asking, how can such safety frameworks be strengthened to prevent such tragedies? See, the problem here is that people quickly start throwing solutions. I generally raise a question over there, because a solution is acceptable only if you understand the problem appropriately. So, in my opinion, the case studies are discussed with that perspective that you should be able to thoroughly understand the problem statement of the question first. So, here it is very, very important for you to focus on that what actually caused this tragedy. Now, there are certain reports available which have come into the public forum. You can refer to them and you can always make a statement that they are not finalized. So, there could be several other possible reasons for such tragedies. For example, bird strikes could also cause this kind of an accident. In aviation, we are saying that if a pilot is making some kind of fumbling and then he's causing some sort of accident, even there are so many other possible reasons, some natural reasons that can cause this kind of accident. Your ability will be reflected whether you are able to incorporate all those possible potential reasons into the context or not. That is the first thing. Offering the solution, in my opinion, should be the last thing. We are living in a world where if we understand the problem, then we have enough technology and facts and data that we can figure out what would be the best possible solution. There are so many automatic systems that we have which can give us an optimized solution. But understanding the problem statement is the biggest problem that we should target in every such scenario. So focus on the problem first. That is what my first assertion is, along with what exactly Utsav has said. है ना? So you understood the problem and then you started writing. Did you use so many facts? In fact, this was a topic for which you had a lot of facts available because you had recently read all these things. है ना? So Utsav, how did you just approach it? That means in 20 minutes, can you just share how exactly did you distribute your time in thinking, writing down points, and then starting to write this complete essay, and how did you end it? Did you think about the final paragraph first or the first paragraph first? These are the exact lines. If you can help someone, I think they would have some other framework that they can work with.
Sure. So, see, first of all, I think that there is no one solution which will fit all of you. It
Yes.
is very important to understand your good strengths also. So, what happened to me was when I was very thoroughly prepared for the WAT, but somehow this topic skipped in all the books or in all the literature I read. So when this topic first came to me, to be very honest, I was a little startled. I was like, "अरे यार, इतना सारा पढ़ा है, but उसमें से कुछ भी नहीं आया."
Acha.
But then I took a step back and I started thinking, means what they are saying, even if I apply my common sense and logic, I can still approach the problem very cohesively. So first of all, I was reading and rereading, and I was thinking what actually can be done to prevent these accidents and what actually can be done. So I started, in fact, if I can even pull because I took a screenshot of that. Don't do that because it is a proctored exam. I just took that risk. So I also have the exact answer which I wrote, so I can show that also to you. So
Later, not now.
yeah, maybe later. So what I did was I started writing the points. So I thought, okay, how can these accidents be prevented? First of all, I wrote one point I remember on pilot fatigue. So pilot fatigue was one point which I thought to address.
Yes.
Then when I was see, keep your brain open. So what happened when I was like writing this pilot fatigue point? Immediately my brain took me to Flying Beast. Now, many of you would be aware of Flying Beast and what happened when he was in Air Asia. He was a whistleblower. So I also linked one point that whistleblowers should be taken very seriously and they should be safeguarded. I took one point to whistleblower. Then I think another point I wrote was that see when the Dreamliner, if you have followed the news when the accident happened, so there were many reports that there people were feeling that there were some faults with the plane, there were some rattling windows and other things which were not paid much attention to. So all these points I mentioned, that even a smallest of mistake can be symptomatic of a bigger disaster waiting to happen. So that point I related. Then I also related that, okay, airplanes. So I did not know that what is the life of an airplane. I honestly did not know that. So what I wrote is that we should be stress testing, we should be pressure testing the planes every 10 years or 15 years or something like that. So all of these points, I don't need to read news. I just need to be a logical thinking human to be able to write these points. And this was one of the points I wrote. Then I also I remember I wrote some point around. So these were the major points which I wrote. If anything else comes to my mind, I will let you know. And
That's
then
see.
what I did was, see, generally I would recommend that if you have any topic, you have to start with a taking a stance, a punchy introduction. Then maybe in the next paragraph you will substantiate your point. You will, maybe if you have some data points, you will try to put that. You will try to quote some examples if you know of, and you will basically build up your entire argument. But also it is very important to see, uh, to me, a great leader is one who can see his own blind spots. So if you counter your own argument, nothing like it. So if you can find a way to counter your own argument, that some people may uh, think to the contrary, that so and so is not correct. So whatever your argument is, try to counter that argument. So it shows that you have a very balanced state of mind. You can think from the other side also. But if you can go to one step further, that counter argument also, if you can counter, but that point has one flaw which is so and so, so that actually completes the entire loop. See, a you have a point which you are strongly defending. Then you also told that what the opposition party is saying. So basically what the opposition is saying, those who do not agree with point number one are saying, you have also mentioned that. But why that point is not valid, why that point is not justified in the given scenario or whatever the context is, if you mention that also, so it is now a closed loop. You have analyzed your question from all the angles, and then I think if you close with a introduction which is forward looking, mention I mean I'm mentioning the word forward looking. So forward looking means, I remember how I ended this W80 was that maybe this is a lot to do in one day or one month, but at least the government should start by immediately calling for a stress audit, a technical audit of all the airplanes. So I have also given a direction. So I have not ended that, okay, this is this problem. Now I don't know what to do. Figure it out. I have also given a direction that at least let us start here, and then maybe the dots will connect. So
Understood.
forward looking is very important. Yeah.
Let me ask you one question. I think many of us would be interested in knowing the answer of this question. Have you met, because I think you are very active in that group of the accepted candidates, have you come across someone who said that my vet went very bad and still he's in the group or she is in the group?
No, I have not. Interview, yes, interview some people, because interviewers sometimes they make a poker face. You
I
don't know how it went, but yeah, that no, that is really important.
So for everyone else, I think Utsav is the only person who said that my interview went really good and he got admitted. Otherwise, everyone else who got admitted said that my interview was very bad. So
Yeah.
interview going bad, you feeling that interview has gone bad has absolutely no connection with your admission. I think your job is just to give your best. Okay, now I think you already have touched upon these things which I have put on my PowerPoint slide, that start with a hook. You mentioned exactly the same thing. Write with a clear stance. You should have absolute clarity of the statement. Support with real world examples if you already have. If you do not have, don't feel bad about it, because you may not know everything about every other topic that comes with. And end with a powerful takeaway. It should definitely be rich. It should show the breadth of your knowledge. So these are several strategies. I think we will also discuss a little about the bifurcation of time. Now, Utsav, just tell us about your general experience of interview. I think this is one of the interviews that you have enjoyed so much. How exactly did it go?
Sure. So before I go to the interview, just one quick point I want to make here. If suppose, see, sometimes what happens is we forget that, for example, if you want to quote that India will become Viksit Bharat by 2047, suppose.
Hmm.
but you have forgotten whether it was 2046 or 2047 or 2048. You can feel free to write after 2045. No marks deduction for that. That is a good strategy to have. In fact, what happens is in interview, this bad pressure, you will forget some points. And see, आपको इतना तो याद रहेगा कि यार 90 से ऊपर था, 93 था, 92 था, you will forget that. So write
Good,
more than 90. So
good.
nothing, no harm in that. Don't withhold that point entirely because it may be a good point. So that
Good.
is what I wanted to touch upon.
Very good.
And now coming on to, so I'll just do one thing. I have just 2 points left for this
Acha.
bat.
हाँ,
I'll
हाँ,
just,
yes,
yeah,
please.
I'll quickly take them. So yeah, I'm just checking. Yeah. So one point, I was researching more about IIM Bangalore WAT student because I had to do this session. So IIM Bangalore in general loves talking about environment, government, ESG parameters in general. So whatever topic you get, if that is a topic which can be somehow related to regulatory environment or government or ESG, try to do that because somehow I am Bangalore. The scenario is they love that aspect. So if you have a topic where you can touch upon the regulatory aspects, the governmental aspects, or the ESG aspects, please do that.
Okay.
Second thing, the pestle I've already told you. Then yeah, last point. Uh, Please do not do this mistake because some people, if suppose it is their very strong topic, they will straight away start writing it. You will write a very horrible WAT because what happens is we are Indians. We think in Hindi, we write in English. So sometimes if we immediately start writing, we will start writing in you know what kind of English. So
Hmm.
please take a pause. No marks for finishing it in 5 minutes instead of 20.
हाँ,
So you have to take those 20 minutes, devote them and very wisely. And I will also mention one point. So when my time allocation, so I think I took 5 minutes to just do this brainstorming and scribbling and all of that. After that, I think 10 to 12 minutes maybe I took writing it. And after that, I did a very a thorough cross check. I was trying to think in my mind, okay, I've written this sentence. How can this be debated? Okay, so there is a loophole. I tried to fill that. Then I went to the next point. Okay, how can it be debated? So basically, all my blind spots, I tried to cover, and maybe I would have read it 6 to 7 times. So revision is very important because sometimes there are glaring mistakes you will not notice while you are in the flow of writing, and at the same time write in very clear English. Don't try to, if suppose you have learned a very good word yesterday in some Shakespeare's novel, don't try to fill in that word because it will look very odd in that entire structure. And whoever is checking it, he may not even know that word. But
hmm.
at the same time, if suppose you write that you are about to write that uh, Indian economy is at a very big juncture, don't use words like big. You can write significant. So if you know some good words when you are
Hmm.
doing this revision, try to see if there is any word which is looking like it is written by a high schooler. If you find any such word, try to replace with a potentially better word if you can think of any, because that somehow makes a lot of difference to how your essay stands out. So yeah,
Absolutely, it
that's
makes a
that's
difference. But I'll just make my assertion here that Utsav had taken GRE instead of GMAT. GRE is very vocabulary specific. Utsav has scored an outstanding 332,
two. Yeah.
right? Which means his vocabulary is very good. Therefore, he really likes to use a good vocabulary in the essay. But I believe that, yes, using some better words make things slightly look better, but it does not hinder your chances of being understood as good as you are. So, yes, a good vocabulary is definitely a help, but people who do not have good vocabulary and who feel that this word, I don't know whether fits in the context correctly or not, do not try to use that word forcefully. Right? Use only the words that you are definitely sure that these words fit into this context. I've seen some people using several fancy words while they're using it incorrectly. In fact, I have been one of such person once upon a time. So therefore, therefore I say that just feel good about your vocabulary and try to use better words. Of course, it enhances your writing skills, but it is not really something based on which you will be judged because it's not basically a vocabulary test. But yes, good words definitely matter. I think for timing, what Utsav has mentioned, I'm just repeating through this slide that time allocation, I prefer that there are 30 minutes usually you get. 5 minutes, you should think. That is what exactly Utsav also mentioned, that you should not simply just jump the gun and then start writing your WAT. Spend 5 minutes, take down some notes, understand what exactly are the points that you should write about. Spend 20 minutes in writing, rewriting, correcting, and last 5 minutes you should just keep for yourself so that you can read it completely. There have been number of times what you have written the first time, when you read it for the second time, you won't be able to make a proper sense out of it. So it's very, very important that you spare last 5 minutes to review whatever you have written. And make sure once you review, you read the statement, that means WAT topic also, and ensure that every part of that WAT has been responded in your analysis. I think these are certain things which I wanted to close this WAT part with. Yes, Utsav. Next, do you have anything more to contribute here in WAT, or we should
Oh,
just
no,
get?
I'm done with the WAT. If anyone has any questions,
Yes, if
please
anyone
feel
has any
to
question,
free
please feel.
to yeah, please feel free to ask them. You can just unmute yourself and speak if anyone has any question.
What is the word limit? 250, 400. What is the word limit?
I think it was 250 if I'm not wrong.
Okay. And sir, should it be like in 3 paragraphs, or we can go with 4 to 5 paragraphs?
Not five.
Five
I
will be
think
too
it is.
much.
I think five will be too much. I think it's absolutely fine if you have to write something in 4 paragraphs. The first paragraph you can spare for introduction so that you ensure that you understand the topic really very well, right? And you can just use some punchy lines to begin with so that the reader remains engaged to read the remaining part of it. Secondly, the remaining the 2 paragraphs in between you can just use for different kind of arguments which are contrary to each other, and you can just use your analytical ability to disintegrate all possible reasons of any particular instance that they have discussed about, right? For example, in round 2 there was another topic that about the street dog that were being captured. So in that case you can always write, portray the ideology of those people who are talking in favor of it, and also the ideology of those who are against it. And then finally you can just write a very, very balanced piece that does justice with both of them. So 4 paragraph is maximum. 3 paragraph also is fine. I personally prefer 4 paragraphs. I personally prefer first you use the introduction. The 2 other paragraphs you can use, one in favor of the topic, one against the topic, if you have a topic such like that. And last, you can simply, for example, if in airline case as well, you can always use your argument that why should only airline companies be accounted for these kind of problems? There are other reasons as well. Is the maintenance going well, right? And then the other argument you can talk about, that airline companies also are not really following exactly the instruction as given by the DGCA or things like that, right? So you can use argument in favor and against of the situation that you are given. And final paragraph should be to summarize everything and finally to give your final judgment, right? That is how it should be. That is the structure that I personally recommend and I like,
Okay,
right?
I have
Yeah.
one question. When you say, Utsav also said that you should put your stance in the first paragraph itself. So how do you suggest, if suppose there is a scenario and we put our stance in introduction paragraph itself, then in the second paragraph you put your arguments in favor of that, and then in third paragraph you counter your own arguments, and then conclusion like that.
See, yes, if you are showcasing your analysis and your writing, I think both the ideologies are fine. You know, there have been cases in which even if you write in the beginning what exactly you feel and then you expand it further in the next paragraph, that is a fine strategy. Personally, sometimes I feel that my final stance should be incorporating all the views that I have given. And therefore, I prefer to keep my judgment for the last paragraph. But there is absolutely no harm in writing in the beginning as well, so that your stance is clear, and then you can once again give all of those things. And finally, just make sure that the last paragraph and the first paragraph do not look similar. It should not be like replication of the same information in the beginning and in the end, right? If you are writing in the beginning, that also is absolutely fine. I think this ideology also comes from the fact that in IIM Ahmedabad, there are many students who actually gave their understanding of the topic first and then they saved their final stance for the end. Then the professor simply said that, no, you first of all tell us that what exactly do you feel, and then you expand your point. So that is one of the things, that is one of the formats that professors have been preferring, and that is visible in IIM Ahmedabad extempore. Therefore, I think this structure also is absolutely fine, that in one line you first of all mention that I feel, yes, airline companies should be held accountable at large for these kind of aviation mishappenings, and my reason lies in various other arguments that are given below. Number one, and then you can expand in favor, against it, and then finally that I believe that these are the reasons which hold far more merit than the other reason, and therefore I once again repeat that airline companies should take the bigger responsibility in this section, because they are finally taking the consumer on board from one place to the other. So the safety is absolutely their fundamental duty, right? Something like that. So I
I
think,
want to, yeah, please.
no, go
So
ahead.
I want to add just Raj, just 1 second. I want to add one point to this. See, sometimes, for example, for this topic as well, I actually could not think of a good counter argument to my own argument. So it is fine. Means I did not want to just do a counter argument just for the sake of it. If you have actually a very good counter argument, then only try to counter your own point. Because see, for example, what if you get a point? What if you get a topic which is very one-sided? Suppose there is a topic that, for example, um, should India have a very firm stance against Pakistan? Now, for this point, this topic, maybe I would say that there will not be any counter argument. Means I won't maybe write a counter argument. I will just write in favor. If suppose you believe in something so unequivocally, so strongly, that if you cannot find a very good counter argument, don't try to waste your time thinking, okay, what will be a counter argument, what I will do, and then I have to again counter that counter argument. So don't bog down yourself. If it flows naturally to you, then do it. Otherwise, I did not do that. And in fact, I have my WAT in front of me. It is only 250 words. So if Bhupendra ji allows, I'll quickly read it for all of you.
Please go ahead.
Sure. So for this answer, what I wrote exactly in that WAT, I will just write that. And I will also tell you that where there was a point which could have been improved upon. So I'll start. While aviation safety is the joint responsibility of the aircraft manufacturer and the airline operating it, the airline bears the final responsibility to ensure the safety of its passengers. This is because the airlines are directly and finally responsible for periodic and before flight plane checks, and are also accountable for the skills and experience of their pilots. I ended the first paragraph here. Second paragraph. Recently, the Boeing Dreamliner air crash in Ahmedabad has raised significant concerns about air passenger safety. The Directorate General of Civil Aviation, that is DGCA, should ensure that both the aircraft manufacturer, in bracket I've written like Boeing and Airbus, and the airlines do not resort to an overstretched cost cutting in a bid to make higher profits while compromising safety standards. The airline should be mandated to retire planes after, say, every 10 years to ensure their optimal functioning. Now, here I should have not written the word retire, rather, I should have written stress tested, because retiring planes after 10 years, all the airlines will go out of business.
Yeah, we
Next,
discussed about it.
yeah. Then I have written independent periodic safety audits should be conducted for checking both the aircraft health and the safety protocols in place at the airlines. At the same time, the pilots should be subject to periodic flying and fitness tests, in bracket I have written both physical and mental, to maintain peak performance. We also need a safe whistleblower mechanism where the airline staff feels safe to report irregularities in safety measures in place at the airlines. A few years ago, AirAsia pilot Gaurav Taneja was sacked when he whistleblew safety breaches at the airline. Then the last paragraph, the government should start with identifying aircraft that are nearing their end of life and retire them immediately, followed by a comprehensive security audit of the entire fleet of airlines, including choppers operating within the country. So this was my actual WAT, what I had written.
Good.
And one last point I want to make before we move on from that. See, 250 words, you should know how big or how small 250 words look like. Because if you take a newspaper, for example, I have this paper in front of me. If you, by guess, if you just mark, okay, this much area should be 250 words, I'm betting you many of you would be grossly wrong. You have no idea what 250 words look like. So please first acclimatize yourself, be comfortable with what 250 words look like. Because sometimes in the WAT, what will happen is either you will run short of space, because that system will, I think it does not allow you to go beyond 250. Either you will fall short of space, or you will finish in maybe half of the space, and then you will think, what will I do of the balance space? So make yourself very comfortable with how 250 words should look like. So that is also one very important point I wanted to make. Now we can move
Yes.
on.
In
I
addition to,
have one question. Yeah.
go ahead.
So there have been topics there, like very different topics. Like there are some words like there is a topic on moonlighting,
Mm,
and there was a topic on greenwashing.
mm,
So like, okay, these are some of the current terms that has been used in the newspaper. But for someone who is actually not very into the newspaper, so how can we tackle these questions exactly? So where you don't have any idea what these words actually, because the questions are very short also. Just how does moonlighting affect the performance or something like that.
mm.
So when you don't have any idea, how do you proceed in such questions? Thank you.
Can I take this, Bhupendra?
Yes. Go ahead.
See, what I would suggest is, uh, right now you have some time. Go to ChatGPT, go to Gemini. You can write a simple prompt that I have my WAT exam, and I want to understand terms like greenwashing or moonlighting or any other such term which can be difficult to comprehend if I directly see them on my WAT. I am sure ChatGPT will give you enough examples which you may have never heard of.
Yeah.
So I think preparation is your best defense. So
Yes.
if suppose after preparation also, and try to do this in Chat GPT, then do it in Gemini, then again ask a follow-up question. Is there any other topic which can be there? So right now you have time. But okay, if suppose what happens if the topic comes on the WAT day. See, if it is a topic like moonlighting, I think you are doomed, because with moonlighting, the word you cannot make out anything. So I'm not sure what to even do in that situation. Maybe Bhupendra Singh could advise. But
No,
suppose
there
it
is
is a
no
topic
advice.
like greenwashing.
Moonlighting came last year. Moonlighting was asked last year, actually.
Okay.
And that was a new topic. I had read that very, very recently, so I just knew about it. But if somebody has asked me about that topic 15 days ago, I did not know about it. So, yes, it is about luck. But I feel that now IIMs are very, very clear about these things, that they do not ask in WAT because they are asking the same VAT to every single student. I think they would not like to use a very specific terms which somebody may not be familiar with. But if you do not know about it, I don't think that there is any strategy for it, because you can't use any technological device at the time when you have to write WAT. So I don't think that you can do anything about it.
Yeah.
Second, there is one more addition that I wanted to make. While Utsav was saying that your thoughts should flow naturally and don't force yourself to think about any point in the other direction. I just want to caution about one thing. It is absolutely fine, but do not write WAT that looks like your opinion entirely, and especially the one-sided opinion, right? Eventually it is opinion only, because they are asking our opinion whether airline should be held accountable or not. So yes, it is opinion, but still that opinion should also have a little bit of rational. I think it is slightly important that you spend those first 5 minutes thinking about, are there any potential points which can relieve the airlines from this responsibility for the moment. I mean, we are saying that airline should be broadly be responsible, but minor responsibility also goes to the other establishments as well, other institutions as well. So we should still discuss something about them. What more can be done by the other institution in that situation to prevent these kind of accidents if there is any situation comes, right? The whole point is, don't let it look like your emotionally driven opinion. That's the only thing, right? It should be rationally driven opinion. I think that is where it is absolutely fine. Am I right, Utsav?
Yes, that's correct. Just one point I want to add. You asked, somebody asked that greenwashing thing. So
Uh,
whenever you are reading about any word or any term, try
mm,
to spend more time and see, okay, this word is made up of green plus washing. Try to
yes.
understand the context, because tomorrow you may get a question on, there is a word called AI washing. Now,
Mm,
if you know greenwashing, you know that, okay, you are trying to be green, but you are actually not green. Now, AI washing, you should be able to understand, okay, AI washing should mean you are trying to be AI, but you are not AI. It is as simple as that. So AI washing means that you are trying to portray yourself as an AI driven company, but actually what you are doing is not AI. So I would also suggest that go a little beyond the textual meaning of the words and try to see, okay, what are the word combinations, how that word is made. Then maybe you will be able to do something. Now, for example, one more thing. I was yesterday reading an article on defense industry. So the article said that uh, it is very dangerous to have a monopoly, but it is also dangerous to have a monopsony. Now, monopsony is a word I have heard for the first time. Now, my guess was if they are using monopoly and monopsony in the same sentence, they must be opposite. So, what is a monopoly? That there are many buyers, only one seller. So, a monopsony would be there are many sellers, but only one buyer. So, in the case of defense, there are many people who sell arms and ammunition, or who sell drones, but there is only one buyer, the Indian government. So that is a monopsony. So if you keep your mind open, you will be able to make out the meaning of words from the context as well. Now, if suppose you get a question of debate between a monopoly and a monopsony, your mind should say, okay, monopoly is many buyers, one seller. Monopsony should be opposite of that. So I'm just trying to make you understand that how to learn, how to interpret things going forward.
That
So
was a
that was
great.
my only point.
That was a
I
great.
have a question to Utsav.
Yeah.
Jana here, yeah. So, where did you get the topics from to prepare for the VAT? What are the sources that you gathered the topics from?
See, my source was ChatGPT and Gemini. So
Okay.
I gave them detailed prompts, and then I asked for topics. Then I gave the same topics to Gemini. I asked, is there anything left out? Then I gave the same prompt to. So I did all this shuffling between different AI engines, and I got a very fair share of points. And what happens is, I also then went one step ahead. I asked the AI to give me pointers on each topics, but depending on how much time is left, I think if even if you read only the topics and try to just spend 1 minute of your time on the topics, that is a good enough practice. Don't don't overdo it, because what will happen is if you try to mug up too many numbers, you will fall flat. But yeah, basic things you should know. Okay, what is the size of the Indian economy? What is the Viksit Bharat we are going to be by 2047? What is the size of India's forex reserves? Maybe not so important. But the major pointers, you can even ask ChatGPT the what 10, I have my VAT, what 10 things in, what 10 data points in the Indian context I should be aware of. That is a good enough start, because see, ultimately, what will happen in your VAT and what will happen in your interview. In my experience, both were very unexpected, but I still did very well on both because I was thinking very logically.
So there is
That is
one
my,
question for
yeah.
you. Do you see that how many words are left out for you to write in WAT? Does the window show that how many words are left and how many you have written?
No, the window, the window does not show that. I think it just stops after, or I don't remember it very correctly. I'll just try to check because I took a screenshot. I have the screenshot with me. So I'll
Uh,
just try to check, but I don't think the window shows that. Uh, I'll just confirm this point maybe to Bhupendra ji, and then he can confirm to you.
yes.
But in both the cases, that is why I'm saying that it is very important for you to understand how. So your biggest, your easiest thing is just open Notepad on your computer, and in your Notepad try to write 250 words, and
Hmm.
then you will get a fair idea. Okay, how much 250 words will look like.
Does it stops after 250? Is that a guarantee?
Yes, I think it stops. It does not. It will not allow you to go beyond 250. And
Okay,
I
in
think
that
there is a counter as well. There is a counter as well, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, it will not definitely not allow you to go beyond 250. That is for
One of
sure.
my friend faced the problem. He was not able to type more than 250 words. It doesn't
Yeah,
work.
yeah, that will happen. They will not allow you to type more than 250. See, they have to give you some pointer now. Otherwise, how will you know that you cannot scan the? So they have to
yes,
give
I
you
think
some
that
pointer.
that will be helpful for me.
Yeah, so don't worry about it. There will be some or the other way to do that, and they may change it. I may say that okay, today they will give you a pointer, but they may change that format. So, but there will definitely be some pointer, some guardrail that you will have to follow.
Hmm. Good.
Yeah.
So, I guess we have taken all these questions around WAT. There is one more. Can we jot down the points on paper or WordPad during actual VAT? What kind of movements are restricted? I think it's already given in their this thing that you cannot open any other window,
Yes,
right?
you cannot open any other window. You cannot take any bio breaks. You cannot go to the washroom, bathroom. You have to be in front of the system. So that is also one means it may sound very funny, but please go to the washroom before your bed because in stress situations you want to go to the washrooms.
But
So
if you have
don't
to
think
jot
too
down
much.
the points, where do you do
That is
that?
allowed. That is allowed. That is allowed. You can have a blank piece of paper and a pen, pencil, anything with you. You can do that. I will suggest use a simple pencil and white paper blank from both sides just to be safe.
Very good. So this part is also done. Now, so how was your interview? I think you were the first one to enter in the interview room, wasn't
Yes,
it?
I was the first one to be interviewed in the morning.
Hmm.
Uh, I was a little nervous, but I was also so what typically happens, I'm telling you, I'm Bangalore because I'm in Bangalore. I went to the I am Bangalore interview. There was this big hall, and there's a very big boardroom kind of table. The interviewers were sitting on the other side, uh, and I think there were two of the professors and one was an alumni, and uh, reached well in time. Very important because there are some formalities they will have you to do. You will have to sign and they will do your document verification, take documents with you. Then you will be allowed in the interview. Before my interview, I was uh, I was pretty relaxed because I had confidence in my application entirely, and I knew that I will do fairly well. I was reading my magazine. I am fond of reading magazines. I was doing that. Then, when I was called for the interview, I greeted them, and then came the shock. So, generally, what happens is you go to the interview thinking that you will get a question, tell me something about yourself. It is like your ears are waiting to hear that. But they started with such a niche of my application, and I was like, यार इतना सब कुछ किया इसके लिए. So they will surprise you in any way possible. So think that your application is your Bible. Whatever you have written there, you have to be aware of it. I did a course from I am Bangalore, an online course a few years ago, and I did not even remember the course. Thankfully, I remember the name of the professor, and they asked me. The first question was in your application on 8th, 9th, 10th, I don't know whichever page you have written that you did this course from I am Bangalore. Who was the professor?
Hmm.
Thankfully, I remembered the name. K. Ganesh was the name of the professor. Because if I would not have remembered the name, my entire that cadence would have lost. So I remembered the name of the interview, and then funny enough, they asked me, okay, what did you learn in that course? And my entire interview, means not entire, but 70 to 80% of the interview was around what I learned in that course. Now,
Okay.
I will also tell you something. You may think that, okay, I was prepared enough. I was not prepared enough. And also, when I just started speaking, I will not go into too much detail here. When I started speaking, they asked me, what did you learn in that course? Just when I started speaking, I knew I made a mistake, and
Hmm.
the professor was very shrewd enough to catch it. He stopped me at that instance, and the mistake was I told that I learned about new business models like franchising. He stopped me then and there at franchising, and he told, do you know when the first franchisee came into existence? It was in 1800 something. How can you say that it is a new business model?
Right.
Now all of us would say that, means all of us would feel at that moment that, boss, we are dash, we are
Hmm.
done.
Hmm.
So I thought, okay, I have made the mistake. So I quickly covered it up very diplomatically and very professionally. I told that no, it is. I know that it is not a new business model. We have business models like we have franchising models like McDonald's, existing for decades now. But the model is evolving. The model is on a growing trajectory.
Hmm.
Because then I related my few examples. So I work in a very remote location. I told that even in that location, in right in front of my factory gate, a new Starbucks has opened up. So this model is definitely evolving. And recently, I read a talk by Titans. I forgot his name. A Titans chairman or someone. He was also telling that how they're opening up new franchises. So I tried to stitch the narrative together back that okay, it may not be a new business model, but it is definitely evolving.
Hmm.
And I was telling all of this with too much confidence. It means never in the interview I was like taken aback. Oh shit, ab to meri lag gayi. It never happened like that. I was always in charge of the interview, and there were many cross questionings. Means they will try to derail you it is their job to derail you. And take it from me, they will be playing good cop, bad cop. So one person will try to derail you. It is his job. So don't feel that it is a personal attack or something. They are doing their job. You also have to do your job, and your job is to be confident. So I think if you do the basics right, you will really stand out. Because take it from me, I'm not bragging, but I saw the other people who had come for interview. They were literally shaking. I know that it happens during the interview, but if you portray a little bit of confidence, now you will stand out. I was dressed perfectly, spick and span. So everything means I was ticking all the boxes. So whatever it is in your control, please do it. And I think be prepared, but be prepared to be surprised also, because no interview will. And one more thing I will tell you, there is never any interview. I gave interview at IIM Ahmedabad also. You will never walk out of an interview thinking कि सब कुछ अच्छा हुआ है. An interview cannot happen like that, that everything went well. There will be some of the points where you will uh, flounder. Like I'll quote one instance from my IIM Ahmedabad interview. They asked me who is the chief minister of Rajasthan because I come from Jaipur. Uh, Now immediately at that point of time, my mind went blank, and my interview was going pretty well till that stage, and I just laughed it off, kind of, not in a rude way. I told them that politics is my pet peeve, so I also got the opportunity to showcase my vocabulary maybe. So pet peeve is nothing but something which you are afraid of or something which you are not good at, and they also laughed it off. And then when we were parting for the from the interview, they asked me, okay, do you have any questions for us? I asked them that what suggestion do you have for a candidate like me who will be starting this session in the coming few months? They told that you should read a lot. That was their only suggestion. So when I was parting ways, when I was shaking hands with them, I told them thank you for the suggestion. I'll definitely take this to heart, and today itself I'll start to read a political weekly. Now, this little thing, they also started laughing. I also started laughing. So we took this negative thing also in a very positive manner. See, ultimately, they also want to see how you handle failures, because when you will go to the MBA program or into the real world, there may be things you will fail at, where you will flounder, where something will go wrong. They want to see how you handle those situations. So I think if you keep a very calm demeanor, and if you see, just be a balanced, be in a very balanced state of mind. Don't think that okay, shit, this is something where I am caught. No, nothing like that. They just want to see how you handle pressure, and if you do well, I'm very sure you will steer through.
Okay, because Utsav, you have, I think many people in this group would also have an interview call from IIM Ahmedabad, I think scheduled on 20th or dates like that. What was the difference between Bangalore and Ahmedabad, if you perceived any?
Okay. Before that,
Other
I
than
will.
extempore. Other
Yeah,
than
yeah, yeah.
extempore, that is
Okay,
altogether.
okay. So I will add one point here. When you go to the IIM Bangalore interview, sorry. So when you will go to IIM Bangalore interview, they have a very weird process. So they will ask you to sign on a piece of paper. Now, in that piece of paper, there will be your name and there will be your GRE or GMAT score. Now,
Hmm.
what happens is with a candidate like me who had a GRE of 332, I was seeing all the GRE scores and I was very happy that, okay, I have the highest GRE score. But what if you are the candidate who has a very low GRE or GMAT score? So don't get intimidated. Means I have in my batch people who are at a very, means you will say horribly low GRE or GMAT, but that does not make a difference if your other part of your profile is very sound. So
Yes.
don't start to go into everybody's GRE or GMAT scores. I had that privilege because I had a very good score, so I was okay seeing okay what other scores are. But don't do that. It is not required. It will not make any difference. I don't know why they have this weird process of embarrassing everyone. But yeah, that was one thing, one pitfall you have to avoid. Now coming back to Bangalore versus Ahmedabad. See, I had this discussion with many other admits. Everybody's experience is different because everybody gets different set of interviewers. But in general, if I have to say, in my experience, I am Bangalore interview was more grueling. They were more pouncing on me for any of means any mistakes I did. They were just very quick to catch them. IIM Ahmedabad interview was a little relaxed, at least for me. They were not pouncing on me so much, and they allowed me to be very conversational also. And somehow I feel that IIM Bangalore interview, they wanted to judge your whole profile. They did not get into too much of the nitty gritties of my profile. Means they did ask me questions, but they were more interested on knowing that how I solved the problems which I solved. They were not knowing, okay, you did something very great, but how you did, even if it is a very small thing, but how you did that. They were judging me on my approach, and that is very important. Don't try to think, okay, I saved, for example, you have an instance where you saved 50,000 rupees for the company. Don't think that 50,000 is insignificant. What is important is how you did that. What learning did you get? And always in the interview, what I was doing, at least in I am Bangalore and I am Ahmedabad, if any place, because they asked me that what are some places where you think you could have done better. So when accepting your mistakes, accept them completely and showcase what learning you got out of it. So don't try to, yeah, one learning I'll tell you, that don't try to fool the interviewers. They are doing it day in and day out. If you think that you will somehow fool them and then get an admit, that will not happen. Yeah, it is diplomacy is something different. Being diplomatic is something different, but don't try to say things to their faces which don't look believable to you as well. So first of all, if you believe in something, then only say it. If you don't believe in something, then please don't say it. Then you can accept. And acceptance is also it is okay if you fumble somewhere, if you make a mistake. There is no harm in accepting that this is something which I don't know. Now I don't know the chief minister of Rajasthan. I accept it. I don't know. Politics is not my strong point. That's it. Don't try to justify things too much. Now what if I say no politics? If suppose, now when my brothers, when I came out of the interview, I called my brother. He told me, you can't even remember chief minister of Rajasthan. I jokingly told him that what good or bad thing he has done. He's never in news. How should I know about him? So he should do either something good or something bad so that I can know about him. Now this is something which I can say to my brother, not in the interview. So so just trying to make that distinction. So
Somebody
otherwise, there is no difference. Yeah.
somebody is asking which one of them is more conversational. Raj is asking that. Huh.
See, for me, I am Ahmedabad was more conversational, and the reason for that is also because my extempore went very well. So with my extempore, I made the impression that I am a very serious candidate. I know my stuff. So the interview started with the extempore, and extempore went really well. That is my interview became conversational. I could see that they also were very relaxed. They were like, okay, this candidate knows his stuff. We have to take him. Means this is what the feeling I got. I'm not bragging, but this is what the feeling I got. And some candidates got that really grueling, because what happens is sometimes if an interviewer feels that somewhere in your application, suppose for example you have an experience of 2 years, for example, and you have mentioned things that I saved 500 crores for the company, they will definitely grill you on that. That how did it happen? Tell us more about it. So they will try to go layer by layer. Like in I am Bangalore, I was managing a team of 200 people. So they tried to peel the layers, that are these 200 people HODs or are these 200 people who are our direct reportees? And I was very upfront to make the distinction. No, 200 people do not directly report to me. Around 15 HODs directly report to me, and then they further have people down the line, and they further have people down the line. But in overall, I managed 200 people. So that is how it went. Does the grilling happen a lot over CV points or more as a part of response to general questions? See, I'll tell you one thing. Every interviewer, he will ask questions from his area of expertise. So suppose you have, for example, you are a finance guy, like I am a finance guy, I'm a chartered accountant. In my CV, there is suppose one point which is remotely related to HR. Now the person who is interviewing me, he's an HR professor. He will not focus on any of the finance points. He will only focus on that HR point, because that is what he knows. Like, just to give you an example, in my I am Ahmedabad interview, there was a very small point in my interview for just-in-time strategy. Just-in-time strategy is nothing but ordering as and when you need things. Now, this is a pure operations concept, and it was a very small part of my application. But the I am professor was grilling me on just-in-time only. And when I came out of the interview and I googled about that professor, I got to know that he's an operations strategy professor. So immediately I connected the dots. Okay, that is why he's grilling me on just-in-time, because this is what he teaches. So everybody will ask you questions based on their area of expertise. Don't think, for example, if suppose there are many people here who may be an engineer. Now don't think that I have written so much about machine learning, but they have not asked me. They may not know M about machine learning. So go to an interview with a very open mind, because you don't know what background the professor is from. Don't think that, okay, for your background, they will bring the relevant professor. No, it does not happen like that. So that is what I wanted to say. Yeah.
That is absolutely correct. The professors ask only the questions that they can evaluate the answer of. So they ask you the question according to their understanding, their learning. Uh, Another example was that in IIM Ahmedabad, there was a girl who was the applicant, and her entire interview went on which river flows through Lucknow because she is working in Lucknow. And then they kept on asking questions around it only. And she has got the offer from IIM Ahmedabad. So, they just test that how well do you know your surroundings, whether it is local or whether it is about current affairs. So these kind of things, right? So this is how it is.
One another point, I because in one of the admins shared this point with me. He's from Gurgaon, and there was another interviewer who was from Gurgaon,
Uh,
and he told the interviewer that interviewer asked him, what do you like to do in your free time? He told, I go to clubs a lot.
okay.
And then the entire interview went on which clubs are good and what do you like about those clubs.
Uh,
So interview can go in any direction. Just make sure that you actually say things which you care about. Like for example, if suppose they ask you, do you play any sport, and you don't play any sport, you just say, I play cricket. Now if they start asking you questions on what kind of cricket bat you use, you will have no answer to that, because you are only watching cricket on TV. You will not know the nitty gritty. So don't try to be a hero there. You are already a hero. Believe in yourself. You're already a hero. So whatever your profile is, be very strong on it and have confidence. So if you do something, say it upfront. Even if you are a kabaddi champion, you can say, yes, I play kabaddi. Nothing to be shy about. So what I'm trying to say is, don't try to do something which can backfire, because if by any chance if interviewer is also expert in that field, then nobody can save you.
they are the expert in some many fields.
Yes.
Professors are the people who are expert in more than one or two fields. So,
And one more last point is, see, IMA and IMB interviewers are professors, and they have seen a lot of candidates, they have seen a lot of profiles. In some way or the other, they will humble you in during the interview. Don't feel anything negative about it. See, we are there to learn from the professors, so think of it as a learning experience. Don't feel that, oh, here he has got me. Means if suppose you are better than the professors when you come out of the interview, then why are you going for the MBA in the first place? So always keep professors on a high pedestal. They will humble you. Please accept that very politely, and it has nothing negative to do with your interview. That's
yep.
the only point.
So one more question, Utsav. Did you receive a candy after your interview or not? Because this was a very hot discussion in the group. Who received a candy and who did not?
I actually received a candy. They gave me, and in fact, one of the interview candidates, he was so because his interview experience was very grueling. So after the interview, they told that we are getting a cup of coffee. Would you also like to have one? And out of panic or something, he told yes. And they all sat together and had coffee. So that was very funny. And then yes, they also offered me a candy. And when I was parting, so I was told that thank you for the candy. It was much needed after this grueling interview. They started laughing. So yeah, see, ultimately they are good people. They are doing their job. Even if your interview goes very grueling, don't take it personally. At the end of the interview, they are normal people. And I heard one candidate, one girl, she came out of the interview room. She went to the washroom. She came out, and then she sat on a sofa outside. She didn't notice who's sitting behind her, and she called her father, and she called her husband, and she told that my interview went very good. These were the good points. These were the bad points. And then once he hung up the phone, the professor came. Thank God you did not tell anything negative about me. And she was so shocked that he was listening the entire time. So anything happens, and they are good people in the interview. So treat them like that. Keep a very smiling face, a very pleasant personality. Because see, interview. What I have heard is interviewers sometimes they are often given instructions that you don't have to portray your emotions. You don't have to laugh. You don't have to smile. You don't have to cry. So they will always be like this poker face. But that does not mean that their nature is like that. You please keep a smiling face. Don't try to mimic the interviewer. If they have a poker face, you also make a poker face. No, you please be very smiling, very pleasing. So that is my tip for you.
Good. Any other question that anybody has about the interview experience or the WAT experience? Please go ahead.
I have a question. So when first thing that you do when you enter the interview room, how do you greet the professors who are going to take your interview?
See, I will tell you one thing. There is no set protocol around it. I would say don't keep anything in your mind, because what happens is, suppose if you have in mind, okay, I have to go there, I have to shake their hands, and I have to say good morning. What if the moment they see you, they tell you, how is the weather today? They will startle you, and then you will be taken aback. So don't go in the interview room with any agenda. If you say that, okay, I will shake their hands. In I am Bangalore, the table was so long, you have to climb the table, you have to walk half a kilometer, then you will reach the interview. So don't have any set agenda in your mind. Just go there like you attend any normal meeting. Be very professional. And yes, small things do matter. Like I took very particular care about it. For example, I was wearing a two buttoned coat. So okay, your top button should be always uh, means your top should be the top button should be tucked in, and the bottom one should be open. And when you sit down, then you should open the button of the interview. So this business etiquettes, this attire etiquettes, you can Google. You will very easily find any YouTube video or something. So yeah, these small things, they do matter, because sometimes what happens, suppose you have a very tight blazer or something. Now you are sitting, that button is getting extended like anything, and it becomes very awkward. So please take care of your professional attire also. You can watch any YouTube videos, or you can chat GPT. These small things do matter, but don't keep any set agenda. So yeah,
Yes.
I have many questions on the.
Somebody else is asking that chat. Yes, please go ahead and keep answering those questions if you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
some.
Just 1 second. IMB does not ask for CVs during application, right? Uh, no, I don't think so. Means I don't. Yeah, I think it was not asked for. If I'm.
They don't
Yeah,
ask.
yeah. You have already answered that. So I play guitar wherever I get some time for leisure. Should I mention that I may tell me about yourself? They start asking me about the music theory. No, no, no. See, what I'm trying to say is, whatever you do, if you actually do it, yes, no harm in mentioning that. See, you can be a bathroom singer, even if you are a very passionate bathroom singer. You can, if they ask you what you do in your free time, you can tell I'm a very passionate bathroom singer. It's okay. See, you don't have to fake something. Your real personality should come out. In fact, I remember in my actually, I gave one interview last year also. I wrote in my application that I wrote a poem which got a first prize. Interviewer asked me, okay, can I listen to that poem? Why not? So anything can happen during an interview. Wear your authentic self. If you play a guitar good enough, I'm trying to learn for quite long, not able to. Okay, everyone was wearing a blazer or a coat, or would shirt and pant would be fine? No, 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 no. Please wear business professionals. Shirt and pant is not fine. There was only one guy in a shirt and pant, and I was thinking that he's screwed. Later, I found out he was the alumni. So yeah, so he was the alumni. He had the liberty to do it, but you don't have it. Please wear proper blazer, and don't means shy away from. So I was wearing a brown color. It was a, I don't know how to say exactly that color name, but it was a brown color. Everybody was in black and blue. So if you think that you look better in brown, do that. If you look better in say dark maroon, maybe do that. But if you look good in yellow, maybe Ranveer Singh can pull that off. You cannot. So please don't do that. That
Yes.
is my only advice. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So,
Any other questions?
I think we don't have any more questions so far right now. Everybody is exhausted, and you have been very, very elaborate in sharing your experience.
I'm also putting my personal number on the chat window, just if anybody has any questions.
Actually,
Yeah.
for both Ahmedabad and Bangalore, how much it's, let's say reporting time is mentioned as 9 a.m. So usually by how much time does the candidate gets free from there after the reporting time?
It totally depends. I was first to be interviewed. I got free in 2 hours. It may take half a day also. And what if interviewer feels like I want to go for lunch? Then again, he wants to go for lunch. So there is no time for uh, when you will get free. But yes, when you should report, whatever your reporting time is, take uh, at least 30 minutes margin. Because see, what happens is when you go to an unfamiliar place. So what I used to do is I am always first in all the interviews. I'll go there, I will talk to people, I'll try to see, okay, where the. So yeah, this also, you also get one benefit when you are in time. So when I reach the I am Ahmedabad venue, I was talking to, because organizers definitely they have to come at on time. I asked them where will the interview happen. They told me in that room. Nobody has come. I went to that room. I am standing there. I am picturing. Okay, I will be sitting here. Professors will be there. I'll be doing this. I'll be doing that. So all this power play happens. So you know what Virat Kohli does after before the match. He will go to the ground. He will uh, try to imagine how he's pulling a shot, how he's scoring a century. So I think all of these small things. And when you are late, na, because I have seen people, because when I was walking out of the interview, there were some people who were running and rushing to the interview room. Means with that mindset, if you go to an interview, if you are already late, you are bound to be screwed. So please be on time. That extra half an hour, 1 hour will pay off.
That is good. Ayush is worried because he has booked a room in Radisson Blue and he doesn't want to pay extra for the next day.
Yes. The interview is at Radisson Blue itself. That's
Ah,
why.
that's the reason he's worried.
Maybe we'll get a scholarship, and then you can think that it got set off.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Let's try for the same.
yes. So I think we have covered almost all parts of it. There is only one exercise that we can say that, see, the type of wet topic can come from any of these broad lines, like they could be based on current affairs. Usually they were on current affairs. They in past have been on abstract themes as well, some business and economy related topics as well, and some case-based, opinion-based as well. You should also be ready about the debacle that happened in Indigo as well. So that could potentially be one of the topics. You know, the court case that happened on putting restriction on the street dogs, that could be one of the potential wet topic this time. So you just have to think about all the things that have been catching the headlines. They usually prefer to take the topic that is in the headlines so that not everybody feels so surprised and everybody has something to write on the topic, right? These have been some previous year topics. If you just want to go through them, they start from analyze the recent interstate migrant crisis. That was a time of COVID. Then moonlighting, a good practice or the bad practice. That was last year. Considering the socio-economic, actually last year they asked so many different topics to different people. It was just like extempo. So there was no synergy. So these are all the topics that were asked previously. If somebody wants, I can share them, but they are not very, very relevant right now. I think the relevant topics will be according to what has been going on these days recently in the economic or generally national scenario, right? Previous year web topic, brainstorming and idea generation. I think this is how one should be thinking. First of all, think about mind mapping means you should always think about the pros and cons, balance the facts and opinion. That is one thing we already have asserted. So I'm just going quickly on them. Structure your thoughts before writing. That is why 5 minutes in the beginning and focus on clarity more than complexity. Complexity is not really going to take you much further, but focus on clarity because clarity is something that every reader would want to see. Now, writing skill, keep clarity, coherence, logical flow. If you have good vocabulary like Utsav has, you are blessed. Keep vocabulary simple yet effective, like we already mentioned. Use data examples to strengthen points and avoid repetition and vague statements. Like I said, in the beginning and towards the end, there might be a little bit of repetition, but still, if you want to just mention your entire stance right in the beginning, it is also good that you mention that towards the end as well. But try to keep the portrayal, the articulation slightly different so that it does not look very repetitive. Strategy to impact, start with a hook, write with clear stance, support with real world example if possible, and end with a powerful takeaway. This is a sample bet. I think if everybody is energetic, are we all up for this thing? Can we just have one thing that you can just write on this topic and I can evaluate? If Utsav is willing, he can also stay back and he can also just share his opinion about the VAT and then we can just evaluate all those topics. Is that okay, Utsav? Or you're getting late?
No, that's perfectly fine.
That's perfectly fine. So I think we can give
Yeah.
this topic, right? Ayush, Jana, Zinia, and all of us. Is that okay if we just wrote this topic, just write it down and then post it in the chat? We will just pick it up, put it on the slide, and then we will see that what exactly is good about it, what exactly is not so good about it, what is the scope of improvement. That immediate feedback, I think, has been very useful in past. In the previous workshop also, I did that and I think it was useful. So let us just try to do this thing for the next half an hour or so. We will just try to work on 1 or 2 or 3 such words and then work it out. Take 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I don't think that you have to think a lot about it. Just take 10 minutes, write on it, and then we will start discussing it. Is that okay for everyone? If you wanted to send it personally to me, you can do that. If you wanted to just post in a group for everybody to see, that's also absolutely fine. Nobody's questioning anyone here. Carry on, write on this thing. It is,
Shall I start and submit this?
yes,
Maybe.
start and submit within 10 minutes. It is 10:21, so let's just start at 10:31, the discussion of what has been written and by whom. Right? Carry on. Okay, anyone who has already written who wants to share?
Sir, it's coming message too long. Please try sending multiple shorter messages. Can I send it shorter messages in a private this thing?
You can rather send it on WhatsApp if you want.
Okay, sir.
You know, you can send it
Yes.
on WhatsApp and then I'll just put it on uh, a slide and then we can discuss it.
Okay, sir. Sir, I have just sent you in WhatsApp.
Yeah, I received it.
Right.
First thing first. Mm. This is the first one. Utsav, you can read and you can share your viewpoints if you have any, and then I'll share.
Sure. I am also looking.
Recording in progress.
I think this is very good. Yes, global protecting domestic interests or sacrificing global competitiveness.
Yeah, I also feel that this is very well written. So who has written this?
It's here, Akash.
It's
Akash. Okay. So Akash, it is very well written. The only thing which I feel can be done to improve upon is like means I have only given one reading. So if I think you have mentioned like certain products should be insulated and certain products should be opened up. If you know of some products, like if you just give one or two examples, na, it would stop looking generic. Because if I make a
Okay.
statement that certain products should be protected, certain products should not be protected, it is a very generic statement. It can fit into any context. So I
Okay.
think if you give some examples, that would be better.
Okay.
Second thing, what I want to say is, see, when I read this topic, if suppose I get this topic today, global tariff war, I would somehow try to relate it to the US-India tariff war which is going on. Like India is not opening up the market to agricultural
Yeah, dairy
products from the
products.
US,
Yes.
dairy products, dairy and agriculture. So I think you have to. So what the essay, the VAT which you have written, it could have been written the same way 1 year ago also, and it would have made sense. It would have been written 10 years ago. It would have made sense. So you have not tried to bring in the context in which we are in today on 9th of December. So today's context is Indo US tariffs, and I think that angle would have made it even better relevant as on today.
Okay.
So that are only two things which came to my mind. Maybe sir can substantiate more.
See, the only thing what I see in this is that are there any advantages of closing up the economy? If there are some advantages of economy, I think I would have written it in more fundamental way, probably keeping China as one of the examples on closed economy and India is another example on open economy. And what are the basically pros and cons of it? In the global tariff war, yes, some closed economy are not hurt as much, but in case of India, which also is a country that is very well balanced on many aspects when it comes to globalization as well as taking care of its domestic businesses, I think India should take a stand of like the stand it has already taken. At this point, one more thing. Huh, specificity is the key ingredient in the topics like that. If you already know about some very specific things, it is always good to mention it.
Okay, sir.
The only question that I can raise here is it is more generalized. I prefer that bigger words should not be used, more granular words should be used. Right? Getting to the granularity that, for example, the advantages of opening up is that yes, you can export as well as you can import. You already have implied it in the second paragraph, I think. That is very essential from an economic point of view as well as the political point of view. In order to enhance indigenous capabilities, it is essential to give some support by the government against external products which are already established. It would have been better if you had mentioned just which external products are we talking about, which we are actually dependent in terms of import. Right? Those products are very, very essential, very, very important. Therefore, we cannot afford to be the closed economy. As well as closed economy is not exactly aligned with the cultural heritage that the India has. India has always been very, very gracious in terms of accepting and giving. You can also connect with it that to even maintain its true value of the Indian culture, Indian heritage, I think it's absolutely important that some areas are well protected because India is entirely based on agriculture. Therefore, that is exactly the part which cannot be open as, I mean, with a greater extent to that extent which the other markets have opened to. I think those are the only things, like Utsav also mentioned, some specificity would have made it slightly better. That's the only thing. Otherwise, it is very, very well articulated. No questions asked. We are just trying to pinpoint some things unnecessarily. In the very first read, it felt like very, very pleasant. There was nothing as such questionable.
Sir, just
Ah,
thank you. I would first like to thank you for the inputs
ah,
that you have given. I'll definitely
ah.
work on it. I would like to know is the structure and the
Structure is
flow
absolutely fine.
what
Structure is absolutely fine. It just try to get into more granularity, try to
okay.
show your personal thought process and not just the analysis of the ecosystem as you see,
Okay, sir.
right? I think this is the only feedback that I can give. I think this is also feedback which is very, very relevant for any write-up that we make for any admission process aspect. Write
Yes.
more personalized way, write
Yes.
in a lot of granularity so that your personality, your understanding is reflected in it rather than a generic understanding.
And always, I would say, always try to take a very clear stance. And
Yes,
if you are walking a very tightrope, like you are saying that okay, we have to maintain some balance, then your point should be, so for example, how I would say that you have to maintain a balance is, you have to have when it comes to raw materials, you can open up the economy so that exporters are benefited. But when it comes to finished goods, you should close the economy so that companies are forced to make in India. So this is something which is actually walking a very tightrope, which is actually a very fine balance. But
Okay.
if you say in the first paragraph that we have to strike a balance, but then you don't talk about that balance in that precision, that somehow loses ground. So that is
Okay.
what also I would like to say.
Just one insertion, which is very important for everyone to notice here, and that is never go against what the stand government has taken. Generally, government takes a very, very balanced stand and very, very necessary stand, even if it is not balanced and very bold. So, if there is any topic that is somehow related with governance, it's always best to align your view what the government has done broadly, right? Because there is a lot of thought that keeps going on. This is also very, very relevant for IIM Ahmedabad extempore. Do not go against, completely against what the rule has been laid down by the higher authorities, which have a lot of potential to do the brainstorming and then come up with something that is in best interest of public at large, right? So I guess that's it. The second one, this is the second write-up. I think it has come from Satyam, so I have put it here for any country. Let me just read it once. Any economic advantage of the is the past few months of interesting and positive series of events with respect to the Trump-led tariffs. Donald Trump with the name of finance. Industrial mediation dependency on supply substantially increased tariff. What started as a regulatory position resulted in various geopolitical tensions back and forth. US imposed a heavy tariff on goods because they believed that India was supporting Russia. They wanted India to support dealing with Russia and cut off ties. India had two options. They decided to do the latter. They didn't let the tariff. Compromise the relations with US, but it's just only to the same, in my opinion. We have predicted advantage. Okay. So Satyam, let's just read the topic once again.
So
India's
I had a question regarding that only.
हाँ
जब when there is some sort of ambiguity
हाँ
regarding how to perceive the topic, what is that the B school or the panel is evaluating?
usually there is no ambiguity.
Okay,
Let's just take that stand first.
okay,
Now, let me quickly point out several things which are good and which are not so good. The good thing is that the articulation is very well. The not so good thing is it looks like you have written a case study based on what has already happened. You have not involved your opinion into this kind of discussion. That is one thing, right? You are very, very well factually aware about these situations, but you should also, again, use your own perspective rather than stating it as an inference from the news pieces.
understood.
So far that it looks like. The second thing, people don't like or they may highly dislike if you showcase your political affiliation anywhere in any sentence,
Okay,
even if you have one, right? Academicians are the people, they hate every single government. Whoever comes on that position, they will hate that person. So do not write Modi led, just write Indian government,
got it.
right? Do not bring this kind of attention to yourself. Otherwise, I have seen people getting rejected just because they have used the wrong words and their political inclination in their interviews.
That makes sense. So,
Do not ever do that, right? You just appreciate that Indian government has had a very great, very good, very well balanced thought process behind making this decision. And why did they take that decision? You did not elaborate on that. That is the only problem,
okay,
right? Just use little more analytical understanding. Do not quote simply the facts. That also is not really a good balance between the two things. Otherwise, articulation is very good. There is no question asked so far.
got it. So I need to balance it between just informing what I actually know about the topic, but at the same time presenting my perspective on
Yes.
it. Like
Yes.
it needs to be sort of a balanced.
Absolutely. You
Got it.
have given a very good introduction, but I feel like the introduction was slightly longer. You have used the
Okay.
first two paragraphs only for introducing the topic. Had it
Okay.
been a 400 word one, I think I would have loved this kind of introduction of the topic. But since it is a 250 words, so I think you have to be slightly quicker with the introduction, and more elaborated view should be presented on your analytical ability about what you think about the situation from your own point of view, and how you answer, how you put your opinion into the situation.
Understood. So actually, I think I did struggle in that word limit. I think what's up to your point, I will actually, after this call, I'll just figure out how
Ah.
many lines in a paragraph could constitute a good, 250 word essay, because
I understand. Right now, we are not even counting these words as such, but for the length that you have written, the feedback was only made for this, that first two paragraph you have used only for the introduction of the topic. The third paragraph you have used to discuss about what exactly happened, again a factual one, and in the last paragraph you have used your opinion, but you have not been able to elaborate much about your analytical thinking.
got
That is
it.
the only flag I'm raising.
Okay.
And
Thanks
I
so much.
have I have another point here, Satyam. I think what you have written is, if you go back to the topic again, what you
Hmm.
have written should have been a good example to quote in the topic. It should not. You have made it entirely around the U.S. tariff, and you have described it in a chronological order, which is not required here. You just have to come to the gist. So it looked to me like you were writing as you were thinking. So that is why, means definitely we gave you only 10 minutes, but try to be very concise, because if I read your essay from top to bottom, you have essentially made only one point, which is the India US tariff. So the topic was actually very broad. You chose what would have been a very good example, but you made it all about that example, is what
Got
my opinion of reading this. And as sir rightly pointed out, write US led tariff, don't write Trump, Modi, Rahul Gandhi. No, you
Yes.
have to just
it.
write in a very, very professional and neutral manner. And also, I would say that means in your last line, you have written that, in my opinion. I think that is not required as such. If it is your opinion, just state it very clearly, because to me it can be a very personal thing. But when I say that, in my opinion, or it is just my opinion, it looks like I am not very confident on what I'm trying to say. You have to be very assertive. So it is okay, means that is not a negative thing, but try to be very assertive. Yes, we know that it is your opinion because you are writing it. And you what you have written, it is kind of very passive, that India decided to do the latter. It looks like somebody has asked you what has happened in India in the past 1 month, and you are trying to narrate them without adding your own angle to it. The academics, the adcom wants to know what is your stand on it. What
Got it.
India has done, okay, you have mentioned it, but what is your stand on it? That is what is asked in the question. So you have actually written it in a way which, it is like a newsreader. A newsreader has no opinion. They are reading from the teleprompter. If teleprompter says Modi is good, Modi is good. Modi is bad, Modi is bad. You get my point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Got it. Thanks so
perfect.
much.
Yes, I think this is fine. And yes, that was the only point, that your opinion should be elaborated a little more. That's it. Right. And one more thing. Yes, there is one very important point Utsav made. Let me just repeat it, that you have to take things from the broader perspective. Not exactly limit yourself to only the current trade war, but take it even further from there. For example, if you carefully see the R1 topic, you see, where is that R1 topic? This one. In the wake of recent aviation accident, everybody thought about it. Everybody, when you read it, thought about the recent accident that happened in Ahmedabad. But this topic is not quoting exactly that incident. This is giving you a broader picture. You can think about all different sorts of aviation accidents that happen. Right? So that broader perspective is generally a good thing to have. Look at the topic as per the language given in it. There is one more thing that I have. Uh, one more. I'll just quickly post that third one as well. I think Zinnia has posted it. And the,
I have sent it to.
Acha, you also have sent it. Let me just see. This is one posted here. And where did you send it? Okay,
WhatsApp.
on my WhatsApp only. Yes, I can see that. And this is also another one. It looks like lengthy. This is
Written word. I've kept.
Madani. Huh?
I kept the word count. It's 253.
It's 253. Oh, it looks lengthy. In my WhatsApp, I felt like it is lengthy. Okay, in my opinion, does it come entirely? Hence, in my opinion, ended. Okay. Let me quickly share the screen with it. And this one belongs to Zinnia. Let me just quickly give a small feedback on this. Um, Zinnia, this belongs to you, right?
Yes.
I think it's very good. Short, crisp. I like it. Yes, you have shown your logical depth as well. So
I have one question. Suppose means this particular uh, essay that I just wrote, it's not 250 words. I guess it's around 200 words. I
yes, it
just
is less. I can see that it is smaller.
so is it would it be a problem if
No, I don't think it's a problem.
no, right?
I
Okay.
don't think it's a problem. If you have come up with a fine line of thinking and you have displayed that logical ability to analyze the topic and share your opinion very, very logically, I think it's absolutely fine, even if you write it in less words.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other opinion? Utsav, do you want to share something on this?
I would only say that try to come up with more anecdotes or more information. Maybe it looks like means it could have been a very great one for me, but I think it lacks some depth. Means and also your first line, India needs to rethink its trade strategies. So I think you should state your stance very clearly there only, because um, this is an ambiguous line for me. Means I would rather like to watch the stance put it in a very forthright manner. That is the only thing. Otherwise, I think this is good. And I would recommend all of you, whoever are doing any practice, please go to Chat GPT, go to Gemini. Feel free to take inputs from there
An
as well. You will
evaluation.
get very,
You can just put it
because
there, get an evaluation. That is useful.
yes,
Uh,
yes. So otherwise, it is good. Means it is very good one.
In my opinion, there is nothing wrong about it. It just a little more elaboration is always something that we can appreciate. But this still looks in least words. You have mentioned it right. Yes, the first line rethink probably is the word where I also had a little reservation and objection. Probably rethink should be changed with some other word. India needs to recalibrate its, or India has been recalibrating its trade strategy in view of the recent global tariff war that has intensified, and then you can start with it. So, and then you can share your opinion very lightly that this is only for the very, very good welfare of the public, that to protect the interest as well as to stay to remain as global as India earlier was. Because, and then you can just explain whatever logical reasoning you have shown.
And just one more thing, Zinia, one more feedback. For example, you have written a line, unemployment may be triggered. I would rather suggest you, because I think you have some hesitation in writing, be very confident. You can write that it can even trigger unemployment because so and so. So if you're writing something, try to give some logic or context behind it, because unemployment may be triggered can look like, okay, this candidate is speculating that it may cause unemployment. Why do you feel unemployment may be triggered? Maybe you can write in 2 or 3 words.
Oh,
Unemployment can be triggered. May is a very means may is not a good word. Unemployment can be triggered because of so and so. So try to elaborate on the logic which you have used while writing this. That's my
Absolutely,
only thing.
absolutely agree. Again, same thing. Assertiveness, you have to show your confidence in your analysis. That is possibly is reflecting in this may, why it should not be there. You know?
okay.
Huh. That's it. This was the next one again. I don't know why it has come in smaller fonts. Let's see. India should be focusing on protecting the domestic interest. Yes. Which other global economic superpowers like US and China have been doing it for a very long time? There are both positive and negative aspects to this stance, as India is still a developing country. We'll discuss both and understand few approaches which might help India to protect domestic interests without hurting its global competitiveness. Protecting domestic interests should be priority one, as India is the fastest growing economy. You see this second paragraph, first line is repetitive. It needs to build its supply chain and reduce dependency on other countries wherever possible. This will help India to remain competitive in the global stage. Now, take example of China. They have built complete supply chain around China created an ecosystem for this industry to grow, acquiring control of the whole flow of supply chain, starting from the raw materials which they acquired through distribution facilities in multiple underdeveloped countries. Similarly, India could create an ecosystem for them. And this approach is short and stress. Stage by step. Okay, in my opinion, the only problem was that I found a lot of repetitiveness in this. Otherwise, the content is fine, but
Yeah, I too thought so while writing. Yeah, but I
but
couldn't.
that's absolutely fine. See, you have only written it in 10 to 15 minutes,
Yeah.
whereas you are going to get 30 minutes tomorrow. So
Mm.
the only thing that is why I said the last 5 minutes you should be keeping for yourself so that you can see that there is a repetitiveness that's coming. You see, the first 2, 3 lines of the second paragraph are exactly the same repetition that has already appeared in the first one.
Mhm.
I like the starting, you already shared that what in a very simple language. But and for the end, you have not had a lot of
It's
scope of
words.
yes. So
Yes.
those 3 lines possibly you could have removed and then you could have expanded the last thing little more.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I
Yeah.
think otherwise it's absolutely fine. Just make sure that you spend 5 minutes, write these things in 10 to 15 minutes, and then spend last 5 to 10 minutes just reviewing it, editing it. That is very important. Keeping those last 5-10 minutes is very important. See, I just gave 10 minutes and everybody has been able to write absolutely fine piece on this topic. So all of us are very decent with it. It just you have to review it within that time. That also is your responsibility. If you do that, I think you're all sorted. What's up? Do you have to say anything here?
Yeah, I again same thing. I think if you jot down some points and then write in a structured way, it would come out even better. And
Mm,
also try to use little more clear language. For example, what you have written. For example, in E20 case, what is E20 case?
mm.
Means what is this E20 case? So don't try to assume that everything. So you have
And
to treat
Avoid
the one who
abbreviation.
is
True.
yeah. So
yeah,
this is you are actually missing out on some details, and you are thinking that yeah, the one who is reading, they will figure it out.
yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
And
I thought so when I was writing this E20 petrol. I'll write. I thought. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
just
try
like
to
ethanol.
yeah,
Yeah. Got it.
ethanol blending. Try to use the key term keywords which also appear in the newspaper. So if you use those keywords, it will be great. And also, I would again maybe this is my closing thought. You can say, but try to keep your head open. For example, this question was about restricting the economy or tariffs. You could also quote the 1991 when India opened up its economy. So it has been working very well. Where the economy was where it has come today. So it doesn't mean that only China is one way to grow where the economy is totally closed. India has grown tremendously since 1991, and I don't know the figures, but even I can only write tremendously. If somebody knows the figures, even better. So what I'm trying to say is keep your mind open. Everybody here knows about 1991.
Mm.
Everybody knows when India liberalized the economy. So that is also a very good point which can go into this essay. So I'm just saying that try to keep your mind open. That is why those relaxing in those 5 to 10 minutes in the beginning is very important, because it will give you quality when you start writing. So that scribbling pad is very important. That will enhance your essays.
And
Uh,
ending is abrupt, so don't end like this.
yeah.
That is the only thing, right?
One word limit was over, and
I
instead of
understand.
two time was already
Yeah.
you started reading already. So
Yes, yes, yes. So it just tomorrow you have all this test. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock?
one question for Utsav. Utsav, it was a general statement or for particularly for my essay, because I took a stance of protecting domestic interests. If
Which
I
one? Which one?
talk about 1991 opening up to global economy, then I'll be stating that against the statement stance that I have
See
took.
that you see there is a way to do that. So, for example, if you have taken the stance that India should close its economy like China, you can say that there can be a counter argument that in 1991 the economy was open and that is why we flourished. You can say that counter argument has some merit because India has indeed grown since 1991. But right now we need to close the economy to protect it from the outside threats. So
Mhm.
that can be a way to put it. So it is only about how you use that information in the context that matters. So it goes to show that you are aware that India opened up its economy. That is a good thing to do. But right now, what I assertively feel is that India should protect its economy till some time, maybe with a sunset clause that will even enhance your argument. Maybe with a sunset clause, we should impose some tariffs and protect the economy so that the Indian economy is safeguarded from the external geopolitical forces which are working against our economy right now. That will be a very great answer.
Yeah. Okay.
Hope that answers.
Yes. Thank you.
This is another one, the fourth one. This is the fourth largest country in terms of GDP with an economy that is largest kind of exposure has been affected. Strong and diplomacy has kept the economy resilient. So far, the country has been deciding on its interest. Traditional tariff threat India has effectively balanced domestic interests without sacrificing global. Okay. So my take is that this is just the validation of what India has done. And above, these are only the quotation of facts. So the only problem here is, I think, Mohit, it's yours. I don't know. It's yeah. So the only thing is facts, quoting the facts is fine, but with every fact, I think you have to involve your opinion, your analysis as well. This is very important. Otherwise, it looks like that you have collected pieces from different places and then you are just using them to validate your argument. And your argument is written only in the last line. Right? You're just validating it that yes, whatever has been done is absolutely fine. But why it has been done and whether it should have been done or not been done is something that you should speak about. Like if somebody is talking about there will be joblessness or there will be India will become slightly weaker in terms of the global race. That is so those are the areas that you need to focus on so that your thoughtfulness is reflected in this way. Do not keep it entirely factual. It's not a good thing. Facts should be used to support your argument, not the other way around.
Okay.
Right? So, because you have used all the facts and then you have just validated, deciphered that yes, so possibly this is how it should be done. That is what I think is. Otherwise, language, everybody is writing the fine language, so there is no problem as such. Right? Also, you have something to say on this?
No, I completely agree that this looks more like you had 10 examples to quote, so you just quoted all 10 of them. You should select two or three best examples, elaborate what is your thinking behind it, why you think, means you should give your context behind it. So here there is no context, only examples, 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 and that is why what I'm saying is correct. So it is like uh, whether you feel the temperature is hot. Yes, because he's sweating, he's sweating, he's sweating, he's sweating. That is why temperature is hot. You have not given any depth to the analysis that okay, I have measured with the temperature, it is showing this much reading, and that is why the temperature is high. So you get the point. And second thing is, this is my personal suggestion. Whenever you are using any in Hindi terms like Atmanirbharta, first of all, avoid it. And if you have to use it,
I was going
put
to.
it in double quotes, because sometimes your first reading will be done by an AI system at the back end. You never know. And these things can be flagged as a random word.
Slang. Yes, some slangs or something like that.
So try to avoid, even if you have to use, like, for example, you've written Vixit also, put it in double quotes so that AI knows that it is something which is kind of quoted. So this is also something which I noticed.
Correct. Yes.
Otherwise, yeah, you need to work on the depth of things. Maybe take just a couple of examples, but try to elaborate them and give your reasoning behind it.
So
Yeah,
just
that's it.
remember this, that facts, your idea should not be derived by the facts. Your idea should be supported by the facts.
Supported.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
important.
Got it.
right? So
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think I have received two more,
Yeah.
but it's already too late. So I think I would just like to revert to those two in my. Okay, but no, I think we should revert to them now because tomorrow only they have this thing now.
Oh, okay.
So uh, let me just quickly.
And one last point I have on this bat for everyone. If
Yeah.
suppose there is a topic which is where you can't find any real world example, if you have a personal anecdote also, you can share that. Means I don't see any harm in doing it. If suppose you don't have any real world example for that, but you actually have a personal example. Suppose some topic comes around government subsidy. Now I have worked in government subsidies in my company. So if personal example also you would like to quote, I don't see any harm in doing that. Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely. I think even in this global tariff war, if you are working in a company that has been affected by this tariff war, you can always quote that example, how your company has been facing the changes in its operation. That also is absolutely fine. That is like very, very basic, very, very ground reality that you are portraying. So that also is fine. I think this is the last one, which we should quickly check after the advent of the globalization in 1990. Oh, and here comes 1991. I think this is good.
I also like this one. I don't have any other feedback than only one which I was telling. Use a good word only if you know the exact meaning or if you know the exact spelling. Like
The meaning
in
of
the
this, I
second
don't know.
line, arable, yeah, arable is good. I
Yeah.
think it is cultivable. Arable is cultivable.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is good.
cultivable. Yes.
That is good. The only thing is, if you see your first sentence, you wanted to write barring, you have written bearing, they are both opposites. So you have
Hmm.
written bearing few sectors such as agriculture and energy. You have written the
Ah,
complete opposite of what you intended to write. It should be BARRING. You have
ah,
written bearing, these are opposite meanings. So if
yes.
I am reading as a human, I can forgive you, but if I am reading as an AI, I will not forgive you, because AI
Yes.
will go by the literal meaning.
Ah,
So
yes.
be very careful of these things. Maybe when you revise your essays, na, you have to focus on these areas. Otherwise, you can get into trouble. Otherwise,
Yes.
it is very
Yeah.
good. The
Ah,
flow of your thought is good. So maybe I think you have spent time on um, thinking that how I should write it, and you have taken directly from 1991. So it is good.
Yes,
Suppose, and here, for example, suppose somebody forgot that, okay, was it 1991 or 1992 after the advent of globalization after 1990s or in early 1990s. So that is also a good way to write, just giving you one point. Yeah, otherwise it is good.
otherwise, I think yes, it is very well balanced. There is nothing wrong about it as such. So it's a very good one. I think
Uh,
with this,
I have one question actually regarding this.
yes,
Actually,
sir.
when I was writing this, the main thing I had, like the main problem I faced is I had gone in only one direction.
Hmm.
Only that agricultural example came to my mind, and I couldn't find other examples to who complement the idea. So, is it okay to write from
See,
like
more examples are always more welcome. That is how we should take it. But in that very pressured situation, whatever examples you can think of, I think you should work around it. Remember this thing, the first 5 minutes are for you to think about different things. Do not compromise the first 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes will lay the foundation of what exactly is the type of your WAT is going to emerge. So think about different industries. When you think of tariff, I think you should think about several industries that you can associate with, and then you start working with them.
yeah, thank you. The main thing that I got from this workshop is exactly this one, like thinking first for the first 5 minutes.
Hmm.
So initially I used to just write.
Ah,
So I
yes.
was able to just capture my thoughts and what Utsav said to
Ah,
first, structure it.
yes. First
So
5 minutes, think and gather the points, and last 5 minutes, always keep to the view. You can't compromise with these two slots of 5 minutes. If you do, I think you will compromise with the quality of your bet,
yeah, thank you.
right? So I think we'll stop here for the day. What's up? Thank you so much. I
Yeah,
think I
if
believe
if anyone has any question, I am happy to take. Otherwise, we can
yes,
stop for the day. And my number I already put in the chat. If anyone has any questions for me, I'm happy to
it's
answer.
already
No
there,
problem.
and anybody interested can reach out to you on your LinkedIn as well. I think that's where we'll take a pause here. Thank you so much, Utsav, for joining, and I
Sure,
hope
Bhoopendra
most
to
sir,
see
welcome.
you more.
I would like
Ah,
to thank you for taking this unique initiative, I would say, among all the consultants out there in the market. This is one thing that is helping everyone. That initiative, I liked it very much. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to you on behalf of everyone.
thank you.
Thank
Just
you so
spread the
much.
word, huh?
Yes, sir, definitely. No, these are the small acts, things that create an impact. I would say it will definitely give an impact because I would remember you as a person who came up with a webinar which helped me ultimately.
Ah,
Uh, in fact, I was waiting since the yesterday when you had posted it in the group, like I would get to know some new things. So it definitely gave a lot of insight, and I would take this opportunity to thank Utsav sir also. He has taken up his voluntary initiative of reviewing everything.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
yes,
and I congratulate you, and all the very best for your IMA journey.
yeah,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
So thank you so much, Utsav, and we'll keep interacting. We have a lot.
Sure, sure, sure.
Right?
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, everyone,
Thank
and
you.
all the best.
Good
All the
night,
best
everyone.
for tomorrow, and
Yeah.
have a good night's sleep. Very important.
Yes,
Okay.
all the best to everyone.